The crash of breaking glass cut through the lunchtime murmur. Conversation stopped. A wine bottle skidded across the black and white tile, leaving a slow, spreading ribbon of red like spilled blood. In the middle of it, a woman in a pale blue dress knelt, shaking, one hand pressed protectively over her pregnant belly, the other shielding her face. Above her, a man held a black leather belt coiled in his fist like a snake. His luxury watch flashed under the diner's chrome lights, a glittering sign of wealth turned vicious. The man was Victor Hale, a billionaire CEO whose portrait often graced business magazines, admired for his empire. But the woman at his feet knew the ugly truth behind that public smile. If you believe kindness, bravery, and standing up for what's right can still change things, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness. Every bit of support helps stories like this reach people who need them. Her name was Alina. Once she'd believed in fairy tale love, that affection could conquer cruelty and success could buy safety. Months of hidden bruises and hushed apologies taught her otherwise. Now, in this bright, busy diner on a quiet Thursday afternoon, her world fell apart. Victor's face was hard, his voice low and poisonous. He didn't care about the eyes in the booths or the way her tears darkened the fabric of her dress. He was accustomed to control, in boardrooms, in business, and at home. Power comforted him, fear was his instrument. The other patrons sat frozen, some looked away. Others stared at their plates, pretending ignorance. The waitstaff by the counter stopped mid-step, torn between calling for help and hiding. The air sat heavy with the shame that comes when decent people watch cruelty and do nothing. Alina tried to rise, hands trembling as she grabbed the booth edge. Victor's voice thundered again. "Sit down," he barked. She fell back, knees scraping tile, tears mixing with the spilled wine. He raised the belt. The leather swish through the air made everyone flinch. Before it could fall, the diner's glass door crashed open. A low growl of motorcycle engines that had gone unnoticed until that moment. A bell jingled above the door once, twice, then fell still. The smell of oil and wind rolled in as 5 men entered, heavy boots marking the floor, eyes burning with purpose. Their black vests bore patches, Hell's Angels. At their center was Ryder Cole, tall, broad-shouldered, a beard threaded with gray, a calm but dangerous look in his eyes. He had seen cruelty in alleys and bars and, sometimes in mirrors. But a man lifting his hand to a pregnant woman in public, that was a line no real man crossed. Startled, Victor turned, belt still in hand. "This doesn't concern you," he spat, arrogance thick in his voice. The bikers didn't answer. They kept coming, slow and deliberate, boots thudding on the checkered floor. The diner held its breath. The waitresses moved aside. Even the air seemed to pause. Through her tears, Alina looked up. Her breathing was ragged. Ryder met her gaze, and in that instant she felt something she hadn't in months: protection. Ryder stopped a few feet from Victor. He didn't need to shout. His presence said it all. When he did speak, his voice was quiet, steady, and hard as steel. "Put it down." Victor laughed weakly, trying to reclaim bravado. "You don't know who I am." Ryder's face didn't change. "I don't care who you are. You touch her again and you'll find out who we are." The other bikers spread out behind him, silent and watchful, daring Victor to move. One of them stepped forward, gently, and helped Alina to her feet. Her legs still trembled. She steadied herself with one hand on her belly and the other gripping the biker's arm. Victor's swagger began to falter. His eyes flicked around, calculating. He ruled boardrooms and towered over skyscrapers, but surrounded by men whose code was loyalty, not money, he shrank. He dropped the belt. It hit the floor with a dull thud, the sound of defeat. The bikers didn't lay a hand on him. They didn't have to. The silence, their looming presence, and the weight of the crowd's shame accomplished what a punch could not. Victor stormed out, furious and humiliated, slamming the door behind him. The explosion of sound felt like a kind of justice. Ryder knelt beside Alina. "You safe now?" he asked softly. She nodded, tears still falling. A waitress handed her a glass of water, another draped a towel over her shoulders. Life in the diner slowly resumed. People whispered. Someone mopped the wine. The broken glass was swept away. Yet something deeper had shifted. The room no longer felt chilled by fear. Ryder rose and addressed the patrons, calm but firm. "Don't sit quiet when you see something like that. Silence protects the wrong people." Then he and the bikers left the way they'd come, steady and unhurried, leaving behind a space that felt a bit safer. Outside, the motorcycles roared back to life. Alina moved to the window and watched them ride into sunlight. Her reflection looked changed, still fragile, still healing. but alive. For the first time in a long while she felt a spark of strength and gratitude towards strangers who had become angels when she needed them most. Sometimes heroes don't wear suits or capes. Sometimes they put on leather, mount steel, and carry the courage the rest of the world forgets to use. If this moved you, if you believe bravery can appear in the most unexpected places, please like, share, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness. Help spread the message that standing up for others still matters. Comment below, what would you have done in that diner? And remember, kindness isn't always soft. Sometimes it's strength. Sometimes it walks in wearing a leather vest and says, "Touch her again. I dare you."